First off, it's all about the GRU. And that's, I said the GRU. Because if you believe certain reports out there, we are very close to signing Jon Gruden as the next coach of the Miami Hurricanes. Yes, I said it. Getting Jon Gruden. Now, this is what it's going to mean from a recruiting perspective. It means we would lock down South Florida at least for the next 5 to 7 years. That wall would be stronger than ever in Palm Beach, Broward, and Dade. We would start taking back the state of Miami. If you read this, if you saw the 30 for 30, that went from the Keys up from Miami all the way up to Palm Beach, and then went all the way up 95 up to Daytona Beach on the East Coast, and then go on the I-4 corridor toward the West Coast. It goes all the way to Tampa, and then west from Tarpon Springs on the North Pinellas line, all the way down to Naples. Well, I can tell you this right now, guys. If this happens, and the first clue you may get is tomorrow night on Monday Night Football when Jon Gruden does the game on ESPN at 8:30. We are going to know a lot about what Jon Gruden stands. I would not be shocked if this happens this evening. I would not be shocked if this went down this evening. If the report from Lake Lewis is right. So, right now all we have to do is see how this plays out. But, from every indication, it looks to me Jon Gruden is going to be the next coach of the Miami Hurricanes. Now, Kirby said there was no timeline, and none of our assistant coaches are on the road recruiting. What does that tell me? That tells me something big's about to happen. Now, recruiting day, they're having a recruiting weekend the following weekend, 11th and 12th. So if I suspect if there's a head coach, it would have to be somewhere around that time. Because the longer we go without a head coach, the more it's going to kill us in recruiting. And we already have a small class as it is now, just 6 commits. I mean, if we were ever going to make a splash, I would suspect sometime in the next 24 to 48 hours, something big's going to happen. I mean, if our coaches are off the road, and Chuck Ninus is involved here with the search. In fact, Kirby gave a list from the presser today to Ninus late last night. You can bet one of those names on the list is Jon Gruden. Let's make no mistake. One of the names on that list has got to be Jon Gruden. Now, Gary Patterson would be a good fallback in case Gruden says no. And I wouldn't mind that. And maybe also Randy Edsall. But as good as those coaches are, and believe me, they're pretty good coaches, none of them carry the weight and the splash and the impact that Jon Gruden does. I mean, let's look. Jon Gruden's won a Super Bowl. I don't care who he did it. I don't care whose place. It doesn't matter. He won a Super Bowl. Okay? He's 47 years old. He's very young in the coaching profession. Like I said, he won a Super Bowl in Tampa Bay. He went to the AFC Championship game with the Oakland Raiders. He went to the playoffs a couple of times with the Raiders. And after the Super Bowl, he went, I think, couple more times with the Bucs. But I have to tell you, I lived in Tampa Bay for 16 years. I followed Jon Gruden's career here in Tampa Bay. And I'm going to tell you what. This guy knows how to win. This guy gets the most out of his players. And I'll tell you, since he's left the game, he wants to get into the college game. He doesn't want to deal with owners. I said that in the previous video. He don't want to deal with owners. He doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to deal with owners. He doesn't want to deal with Mel Simons. He wants to go into the college game. If that's the case, we offer the best chance for him to win a national championship next year. Yes, I said it. Next year. That's how much talent is on this squad. The only thing that we need is a bona fide X and O's guy, a bona fide recruiter, and a bona fide winner. And Jon Gruden fits all the bills. Every last one of them. You land Jon Gruden here, and I guarantee you we will be national champions next year. And I'm not kidding about that. Next year. Now, let's think about that for a second. I mentioned the impact of recruiting, and I mentioned the things about what John Gruden brings to the table. If I'm in Gainesville and Tallahassee right now, I am very, very nervous knowing that if John Gruden comes to Coral Gables, that my access in South Florida is going to be absolutely shut down. It's going to be shut down and completely clamped down. And I'm not so safe in North and Central Florida either, where I've been strongest the last couple of years, in recent classes. But I have to tell you, John Gruden brings a major impact and a major splash we have not had at the U since Jimmy Johnson left in 1988 for Dallas. And I'm going to tell you something. That tells me a lot. Now, when nobody's talking right now, yeah, you have to. He said there's no timeline. We're going to do our due diligence. That's fine. But I'll promise you now, they've been probably doing this since after the Virginia game. And there's going to be something big that goes down here. My guess, like I said, if the next 24 to 48 hours, we're going to probably know a lot. We're going to know something about this. And I bet by the earliest end of the week, we'll probably have a coach here. Because this is not going to be going on too long. We're going to have a coach here very quickly. So, that's the way I saw the Kirby press conference today. And that's my take on what's gone down the last 24 hours since Randy's firing. And we'll have to wait and see. Let's see. But all I can tell you is, win or lose, it'll be all about the Gru. Go Canes. I'm out.